Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing today? So did you guys see your grade on Brightspace? You did not. I posted your grade individually on your Brightspace. Plus, I posted a screenshot of everyone's grade, only with their IDs. Only you know who is you. And I also highlighted either red or I forgot different color. So if it's red, it means you are completely in the danger zone of failing this class. And if you are on the other color, I forgot the color's name, green or blue something, that means if you improve your homework score and the next 3 exam score, you still have a chance of passing this class. Did you guys see that? So your last day to withdraw any classes today, I think. Or at least to talk to your advisor. Today is the last day. So if you did not see your grades, make sure you see on Brightspace. And if there's no way you can pass this class, it's better to withdraw than having an F. If you withdraw, you still have a chance to retake and your GPA will not be affected. But if you take F, your GPA will go down. Even though you can take the same class again, but your GPA will be very lower than what you have currently. Any question? I'm going to give you an exam back at the end of the class. And on Thursday, we're not going to have in-person class. I'm going to send you a video link to watch instead of coming to the class. And after watching the link, if you have any question, if you didn't understand any part or anything, we can discuss that on Friday. So Friday, you're going to meet again, but Thursday, you're not going to meet in person. Clear? Any question before we start? Any comments? Concern? Complain? Nothing. So we still have actually so many things left to cover. So we did 7.12. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 more sections to go. So our next exam will be after we're done with chapter 7 and middle of 10. Then we'll have our next exam. And then from middle of 10 to chapter 11, we will have our 5th exam. If you stay in this class. So from chapter 7, we discussed 7.1 and 7.2, where we learned how do we simplify rational, how do we multiply, how do we divide, how do we find domain. These are the 4 important topics discussed in section 7.1 and 2. And now you're going to learn how do we add and subtract. Any question? So before adding and subtracting, we need to know one important topic is called equivalent expression. We need equivalent expression because in order to add or subtract, we must have to have the same denominator. If your denominators are not same, there is no way we can add any fraction. So equivalent expression, it means whatever change you make on one of the numerator or denominator, you need to make the same change on the other part. So let's say you're making a change on the denominator because you want to have the same denominator. So you change the denominator by whatever factor, you need to change the numerator by the same factor. And when I say change, it means you need to multiply. The only thing we can do to have an equivalent expression is either we multiply or divide. So to find LCD, the least common denominator, we need to multiply our denominator by something so that all the denominators become the same denominator. So before we go to the LCD, first let's see some equivalent expression. 3/5 is same as what over 10? 6 over 10. How did you figure that out? Exactly. That's how we find equivalent expression. You compare whatever is given. We are given two denominators. So we compare from one denominator by what you can multiply to go to the second denominator. We can never add or subtract anything. We can always multiply or divide. Especially, we mostly multiply. So if you multiply 5 by 2, it turns into 10. That means the numerator also must be multiplied by 2 to get 6 over 10. So 3/5 is same as 6 over 10. They're the same expression, same number. They look different, but they're the same number. So actually it's the same number. They're equivalent numbers. Let's see what do we get. When you divide them. 3 divided by 5 gives us 0.6, and 6 divided by 10, we get 0.6. So see, they're the same number. Now B, we have 1 over A, and this is same as what over A squared. If you compare A from A squared, what did you do on the first denominator so it turns into A squared, Mustafa? Multiply by A. So all you have to do is multiply top and bottom by the same factor. So it turns into A by A squared. How about the last one? We have A over B. We want to find the same expression as A over B, which will be A to the 4 over something. Good job. If you compare, how do you move from A to the 4? You multiply it by A cube. So you multiply top and bottom by A cube. So the denominator becomes B A cube, which is same as A cube times B. So A over B is same as A to the 4 over A cube times B. Who is lost? Anybody? So is this concept clear to you now? How do you find equivalent expression? Can you figure out the answer for the next one? We have 13 5a squared. We want to turn this into something over 10a squared. So what do you need to multiply by, Mustafa? 2 and b. So let's see, if you multiply 2 and b, we have 5 times 2, 10, and a squared b, which is same as this one. So in order to go from the left side to the right side, we need to multiply by 2b. That means we need to multiply the numerator by the 2b same. We need to multiply the numerator by the same 2b. So what the numerator we have here? 26b. So 13/5 squared is same as 26b/10 squared b. Clear? How about the next one? Remember, you're only allowed to multiply. You cannot add, you cannot subtract. So what do you think about this one? If you compare 35x squared minus 20 with 70x squared minus 40, you can do it individually. From go for 35x squared to 70x squared, you need to multiply by what? 2. To go from 20 to 40, you need to multiply by 2. That means if you multiply the entire denominator by 2, it turns into 35, it turns into 70 x squared minus 40, which is same as the second denominator. That means we also have to multiply the numerator by the same 2 to have the equivalent expression. So what do we have on the second numerator? Negative 2y plus 26. So, yes. Any question? If you understood this equivalent expression, that means you are ready for the next topic. Ignore all these details. You can read them on your own. I'll post the slides on Brightspace. And now we are going for the actual math, addition, subtraction. When we add or subtract, we have two scenarios. Either we have the same denominator or you don't have the same denominator. If you do have the same denominator, our life is easy. All you have to do is keep the denominator once and combine all the numerators. It doesn't matter how many fractions you have. If all the fractions have the same denominator, we write the denominator only once. So the first thing, 2/5, so 2/3 and 5/3, they have the same denominator, 3. So life is easy. We keep 3 only once and we combine our numerators. On the numerator, we have 2 and plus 5. So we go 2 plus 5. And we get 7/3. That's how we add numbers. Same denominator means keep the denominator, combine the numerators. Similarly, we add rational expression. As long as you have the same denominator, follow the rules for the numbers. Our first denominator is x minus 5, so is our second denominator. That means we keep our denominator only once, and whatever we have on the numerator, we are going to combine them together. So we have x plus 3 on the first numerator, and we are adding x minus 1 on the second numerator from the second numerator. And then you just combine like terms. Do we have any like terms here? So what do we have after you combine your like terms? How many x's you see? 2x. You have x squared when you multiply the bases. Here you're not multiplying, you're adding. That means you add the coefficients. So it's 2x, and what do you have from 3 minus 1? Plus 2. And then you look for GCF or factoring. Can you pull out any GCF here? Do you see the same thing on both terms? You see 2, right? So you can factor out 2, you get x plus 1 over x minus 5. We have to factor because sometimes after you factor, you can actually cancel something from the numerator and denominator. That's why in the last step, if you see something factorable, try to factor that out. Try this one. Is it too small? Can you see the screen? If it's too small, I can make it bigger for you. I can write it bigger. 4x squared plus 15x over x plus 3, then 8x plus 15 over x plus 3. Be very careful. Here you are not adding, you are subtracting. So remember, when you subtract, sign changes. Ready? What goes in the top? 4x squared plus 15x minus 8x. That's a mistake. It cannot be plus 15 because anytime you subtract, the sign of the second numerator will change. So we have plus 15, it will turn into a minus 15. We don't change sign when you add things, but you always have to change sign when you subtract. Then we have 4x squared. These two are like terms. What do we get from the combination of positive 15x minus 8x? Positive 7x minus 15 over x plus 3. You cannot stop here because we have to see whether the numerator is factorable or not. So if you do want to factor this, which method you have to use? Good, AC method. So let's do an AC method here. We multiply 4 times negative 15, we get negative 60. You know 4 times 15, right? If you don't do the multiplication manually, 4 times 15 is 60. Which two numbers multiply to 60 combine to 7? 12 and 5. How about their signs? 12 positive, 5 negative. And I'm lazy here, so let me do the shortcut method. In the shortcut method, once you figure out the two numbers, you do four x squared plus 12 and 4x squared minus 5. And then you see from here, 4 is factorable. That means you factor out 4 and ignore. If you do that, you get x squared plus 3. Wait, not x squared, my bad, x. We get x plus 3 and 4x minus 5. Because this two has 4 in common, so you factor and then you ignore. So numerator here becomes 4x minus 5 and x plus 3. And our denominator is x plus 3. Do you see same thing on the numerator and denominator? So we cancel x plus 3. And our answer is 4x minus 5. That's why you always have to factor if it's factorable. Because sometimes we can cancel, sometimes we cannot. You have one more. Try the last one. Any questions so far? Was any step unclear, confusing? Did I lost you with the SE method, shortcut SE method? Let me refresh your memory then. Every time it's factorable, factor. If it's not factorable, we just leave them alone. But here it is factorable because you can see 60 is 12 times 5 and 12 minus 5 is 7. So it follows the requirement. Two numbers multiply to A and C combine to 7. If you can find those numbers, it's factorable. Other is not factorable. So let me refresh what I did here. We have 4x squared plus 7x minus 15. We must use AC method because A is visible. Anytime A is visible, it's not 1, it's AC method. If it's factorable, say multiply AC and you get 4 times negative 15, that gives us negative 16. And then you look for two numbers. When you multiply them, the answer is negative 60, but when you add them, the answer is positive 7. And Miley was fast enough to figure out that this should be positive 12 and negative 5. Yeah. So if you add 5 minus 12 minus 5, it gives us positive 7. Once you find this, the normal SE method says split the middle term into these two factors and then use grouping method. But I'm lazy, so what I did was, once you figure out your two factors, you write 4x and 4x. So we have 4x squared here. And then you write the two numbers you just found, positive 12, negative 5. But then we have a problem. The problem is that if you multiply 4x and 4x, we're supposed to get 16x squared. But what do we have? Only 4x squared. That means one of the 4 must have to go. Which one? So we take the one which is factorable. Can you factor 4 out in this factor? No. Can you factor 4 out from this factor? That means you have to factor 4 out from here. If you factor your 4 out, you get x plus 3. But this 4 is nowhere given here because we have the second factor 4x minus 5. So if you multiply 4x and x, we have 4x squared, which is what given here, 4x squared. That means this 4 is something extra. There is no way we are given this 4, the extra 4. So what do we do something extra? We just disregard. Forget it. So what do we have? X plus 3 and 4x minus 5. That's the shortcut essay method. See, I could figure this out in 2 steps. If you do longer essay method, it's 4 steps. But whatever is easier for you, okay? It's up to you to decide which method to follow. How about the next one? Did you try the next one? I guess done with the next one. Let's see. Do we have the same denominator? So we keep our denominator. Let me actually do this here. We have 6x plus 2 over x squared plus 13x plus 40. 5x minus 6 x squared plus 13x plus 40. If you have the same denominator, we write the denominator once. X squared plus 13x plus 40. And we combine our numerator. 6x plus 2 minus 5x. And then, good, plus 6. See, we have to distribute the minus sign because you're subtracting. Anytime you subtract something, you have to distribute the negative. So we have x squared plus 13x plus 40. And what do you have on the numerator? 6x minus 5x. How many x we have? 1x. And we have 2 plus 6. 8. Now I cannot stop here. Why not? We have to look at the bottom. Can we factor the bottom? X plus 5, x plus 8. That means we have x plus 8 on the top, x plus 5, x plus 8 on the denominator. Do you see same thing? Which one? So they have to go. So what is our answer? Where? X plus 5 is left on the denominator. Then what is left on the numerator? 1. Anytime you do multiplication division and you see nothing is left, that means you have the invisible 1, which becomes visible here. Any questions so far? Did I lost you anyone anywhere? No? All of you are with me? Great. Same denominator, easy life. Mustafa. Huh? No, we are going to do the real life. What? When we don't have the same denominator anymore. The same denominator easy. So in the exam, most likely you're not going to have the same denominator, especially in the final exam, because they want to test you. Do you know what to do when you don't have the same denominator? So when you don't have the same denominator, there is a concept we look for. It's called LCD, least common denominator. Means we want to make the same denominator on every denominator. So before you go and do the LCD, first let's start with something simpler. Least common denominator has another name, least common multiples. Okay. Now multiples means the number you get from multiplying them. So between 2 and 3, what is the LCD? 6. It's 6 because if you multiply 2 and 3, you get 6. And LCD or LCM is the bigger number by which you can divide, bigger number which is divisible by both 2 and 3. So when you factor out, we look for something small. But when you look for LCD, we look for something big. So factor LCD, they are opposite of one another. Factor takes something smaller, LCD needs something bigger. Now between 2 and 4, what's the LCD? It should be 8, right? Should be 8. But do you know any number that is smaller than 8, but it's divisible by both 2 and 4? 4. So it's not 8. Yes, 8 is a multiple, but it's not the least multiple. It's one of the multiple. So when you see between the two numbers here, you have, if you don't have anything multiple of one another, you multiply both of them to get LCD. Like 3 is not a multiple of 2. So to find LCD, you multiply 2 and 3. But when you look for LCD for 2 and 4, 4 is already a multiples of 2, right? So if you have number, one of them is multiple of the other one, LCD is the bigger one. Between 2 and 4, it's not 8, it's 4, because 4 is already a multiples of the smaller one too. Now, how about you combine them together? 2, 3, and 4. Is it 12? 12. Do you know why it's 12 or how it's 12? So observe, between 2 and 4, 4 is a multiples of 2. That means 2 has to go. So you need to compare between 3 and 4. Now 4 is not a multiples of 3. That means you have to multiply both of them to get LCD. So if one number is not a multiple of the other number, you have to multiply both of them. How about 3, 4, 5? What is the LCD or the LCM, least common multiple? You multiply all the numbers because none of them are multiple of one another. Is 4 multiples of 3? Is 5 multiples of 4? Is 5 multiples of 3? So none of them are multiple of one another. So you need to multiply all 3. So what is 4 times 5? 20. What is 20 times 3? 16. So LCD is 16. You know it is multiple, right? It means you multiply by something and becomes the bigger one. Like 4 is a multiples of 2 because 2 times 3 is 4. 12 is a multiples of 2 because 6 times 3 is 12. So multiples means if you can multiply something by that number and get that big number, it's a multiple. So that's how we find the multiples of the least common multiples of the number. And now you observe the variable. When we factored out the smallest one. Now, when you're looking for multiples, multiples means big, right? So what is the LCD between x, x squared, and x cubed? Is it x or x cubed? Which one? X cubed, because big. Remember, factor takes small, but multiples means big. So it has to be x cubed. If you ever get confused, think about this. You're looking for something that is divisible by x, also divisible by x squared, also divisible by x cubed. So which of these is divisible by all 3? If you think it's x, yes, this is divisible. But look at here, it's not divisible because you get a fraction. When I say divisible, it means you can divide evenly, not as a fraction, as a whole number. So x cannot be LCD because here you get a fraction as your answer, but you cannot have a fraction. If you think it's x squared, yes, this is divisible. This is also divisible, but look what happens here. We get a fraction because our denominator is bigger. So x cannot be LCD, x squared cannot be LCD. Now if you look at x cubed, this becomes whole number x squared, this becomes whole number x, and this is also divisible, it becomes 1. So see, all three we can divide only x cubed. That's LCD, the least common denominator, or LCM, has to be the bigger one. How about between x and y? Both of them, because one is not divisible by another one. If one is divisible by another one, we take the bigger one. Another interesting one. X squared, y squared. Great. X squared, y squared. So if you compare x and x squared is bigger. Compare y and y square is bigger. And x and y, one is not divisible by another one, so you have to take both. How about 3 and x? LCD between 3 and x? 3x. One is not divisible by another one. That means both of them have to go. How about 3x and 4y? Great. 12xy. 3 and 4 is not divisible by one another. X and y is not divisible by one another. So you have to take all of them. And now comes the interesting one. Between x and x plus 2. X squared plus 2x. So basically you're taking both of them. X and x plus 2. Remember, in the LCD, you cannot add or subtract. You always look for multiplication. So is x plus 2 divisible by x? Can you divide x plus 2 by x and get a whole number? A whole something? No. That means you have to take both of them. You cannot divide one by another one. Both have to go. How about x plus y and x minus y? Can you divide x plus y by x minus y or x minus y by x plus y? Can you do either one of them? In order to be -1, you have to do the same thing with opposite sign. Look at here. X is the same sign even though y doesn't. So they are not opposite of one another. So they are not divisible by one another. Since they're not divisible by one another, our LCD is both of them. X plus y, x minus y. Because they are two different things. They are not same. They look same, very same, but they're completely different. And now the last one. X plus y and x plus y square. The square one, bigger one. As long as you can divide one by another one, you have to take the bigger one. So our answer here is x plus y with the bigger power. Let me erase this. And let me write my 2 clearly. If you have the same base, the higher power go. If you don't have the same thing, you take both of them. If one is multiples of the another one, you take the bigger one. If you don't have anything common, you have to take both of them. That's the rule. Now, are you guys okay with the LCD? Is the concept clear? Then let's try doing real math. 6 over b minus 5b over 3. Combine them. Do we have the same denominator here? No. That means we have to make them same. So what is the LCD between b and 3? 3b. So we want 3b here, and we want 3b there. How can you convert b into 3b? What do you have to do?
Since b first denominator will multiply by b by
We multiply by 3, right? b is the first denominator, and we want 3b as the first denominator. So you need to multiply this by 3 in order to get 3b, right? Then we have to multiply the numerator by what? By 3. Because we have to have them equivalent expression. So Ronaldo, what do we do in the second denominator to convert 3 into 3b? Multiply by b. So we also have to multiply the numerator by b. Now, do you have 3b on both denominators? So what's the first numerator? 18a. And what's the second numerator now? 5b squared. Since you have the same denominator, you write once and combine your numerators. 18a minus 5b squared. Can you factor out anything from the numerator? 5 and 18 have nothing common, and a and b, they're totally different. So we stop here. We stop when it's not factorable. If it's factorable, we do more. What's the LCD between x and x squared? X squared, the bigger one. That means we want to have x squared on both denominators. We have it on the second denominator, we are happy. How about the first denominator? Do we have x squared on the first denominator? What can we do to turn x into x squared? Multiply by x. Do we just multiply the denominator by x? We also have to multiply the numerator. So we have x squared on the both denominator. We are happy. And now it's time for the numerators to meet with one another. What do we have on the numerator? 5x plus 6. Can you factor out anything on the numerator? That means we are done. Only one step. So how do you feel about addition subtraction now? They're not bad, right? Let's see the next one. Blank x. Okay. So we are looking for LCD between x and x minus 6. What is the LCD between x and x minus 6? Is x minus 6, can you multiply x minus 6 by x? So not multiply. Can you divide x minus 6 by x and get a whole number answer? X minus 6 divided by x. Can you divide that? Since you cannot divide, what is your LCD? If you cannot divide, it's both of them. So it's x and x minus 6 because you cannot divide them. You cannot divide one by another one. If you had x and x squared, you can divide x squared by x. So that's why our LCD was the bigger one. But now between x and x minus 6, you cannot divide x minus 6 by x. It's not divisible. If they are not divisible by one another, that means our LCD is their product, both of them. It's x times the x minus 6. So you have x times x minus 6. We want that on both denominators. So what we don't have on the first denominator? X minus 6. So I have to multiply x minus 6 here. But do you just multiply the denominator? We also have to multiply the numerator. And now in the second denominator, what do we don't have? What is missing on the second denominator? So we multiply x with numerator and denominator. And then you combine the numerators. 2 times x minus 6 plus 9x. We cannot leave it alone, we have to simplify. How do we simplify? You have to distribute. So 2x minus 12 plus 9x, x and x minus 6. We have like terms, so 11x minus 12, x and x minus 6. Can we factor the numerator? Do you have anything common between 11 and 12? Nope. So this is the final answer. Who is lost? Anybody? Try the next one. One of these you'll have in the final exam. Addition, subtraction. One from addition, subtraction, one from multiplication, division. They always come in the final exam. Oh. So we are doing addition subtraction today. I'm going to send you a video about solving rational equation. So we're not going to do this in person. I'm going to send you a video, you watch it, and then we are going to, if you have any question, we are going to discuss that on Friday. So today you have 3 questions, and then you can leave. Let me write this here. X over x squared minus 25 and 2 over x squared minus 10x plus 25. Or a minute bigger. X over x squared minus 25 minus 2 over x squared minus 10x plus 25. So try these 3, and then we'll be done with 7.3. You can try with your neighbors. You don't have to try alone. And remember, when you subtract something, you need to change the sign. So let's actually do the first one together, and then you can try E and F alone. So we have x minus 5 over x plus 6, and you're subtracting 7x minus 4. What is the LCD between x plus 6 and x minus 4? Mustafa. Like this one. What is the LCD between x plus y and x minus y? They are not multiple of one another, right? You have to take both of them. Same thing here. X plus 6 is not divisible by x minus 4. Or x minus 4 is not divisible by x plus 6. They are not multiple of one another. That means our LCD is both of them. X plus 6 and x minus 4. So what is missing on the first denominator? X minus 4. So you multiply top and bottom by that. What is missing on the second denominator? So you multiply top and bottom by that. So you have this, you need to distribute. So we have x squared minus 4x, and then minus 5x plus 20. You have to distribute the 7, but this is not 7 only, this is negative 7. So when you distribute the negative 7, when you distribute, yeah. When you distribute the negative 7, this sign will turn into a minus. So you get negative 7x, and negative 7 times 6, that gives us negative 42. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. That's why anytime you subtract, the sign always change on the second numerator. And then you combine like terms. So let's see how many like terms we have. We have x squared. Do you have any more x squared? No, so leave it alone. Then we have minus 4x, minus 5x, minus 7x. So when you combine all of them, what do you have? Minus 4 minus 5 is minus 9. Minus 9 minus 7 is minus 16. So we have 16 of them. And lastly, we have plus 20 minus 42. So what do you get from plus 20 minus 42? Negative 22. And we have x plus 6, x minus 4. Is the numerator factorable? It's not positive because negative 7 times the 6 gives us negative 42.
Was you not talking about positive 6 with negative?
We did. That's how we get negative 42. Now 22 has only two pairs, right? Either it's 1 times 22 or 2 times 11. Can any of the pair give us 16 as combination? No. So it's not factorable. And as long as it's not factorable, we stop. Since we don't have time, let's do the other two together also. But now at least you have some idea, right? Let me erase this. So what is our LCD here? Both of them. X plus 3, 2x minus 4, x minus 1. So x plus 3, x minus 1. One is not a multiple of the other one, so we take both. That means what is missing on the first numerator and first denominator? X minus 1. So we multiply top and bottom. What is missing on the second denominator? X plus 3. So multiply top and bottom. And then we do FOIL. 2x squared minus 2x minus 4x plus 4. When you distribute this, we have minus 5x, and then what? Minus 5x and so 5 times x, negative 5 times x gives us minus 5x. What is negative 5 times the 3? Negative 15. So minus 5x minus 15. Minus 5 times x is minus 5x. Minus 5 times 3 is minus 15.
Oh, you said there's a new sign that
Exactly. So we have a minus before the parentheses. That's why the x inside the parentheses turns into a minus x. And you multiply by 5. So this is same as as minus 5 times x plus 3. So we have minus 5x minus 15. And then we combine like terms. We don't see any more 2x squared, so we leave it alone. But we have how many x's together? Altogether, how many x we have? Negative 11x. And how many numbers we have? Oh, same thing, negative 11. Is it factorable? 11 has only one pair, 1 and 11. So we get a combination either 10 or 13. But what do you have in the middle? 11. So not factorable. Go ahead. Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. So even if you do use AC method, A times C is, that gives us 2, 22 to 11. Not factorable. Are we supposed to use actually AC method, not the regular method? I didn't notice that. Now the last question, and then I'm going to give you an example. Denominator. They're different. But before it, is there any way you can find what do we have on the denominator? Like we see x squared minus 25, but it's not clear x squared minus 25. Can you do something so that you can see clearly what is x squared minus 25? We can factor. What factors we get from x squared minus 25? X plus 5, x minus 5. And how about the second one? Multiply to 25, combine to 10. Both x minus 5. So we have x plus 5 only once, right? So you must take x plus 5 in the LCD. Now if you compare x minus 5, first denominator has one of them, second denominator has two of them. So what's the LCD? One of them or two of them? Two of them. See here, if you have the same base, one power and more power, or LCD is the bigger one, more one. So same thing here. We have one of them on one denominator and two of them, two exact same thing on the other denominator. So LCD has to be two of them. X minus 5 with the square. You can put as a square or you can put as two of them. It's up to you. Okay, either way is fine. Now if you put two of them, then you can see clearly what is missing on each denominator. So if you compare LCD with the first denominator, is there anything missing on the first denominator? X minus 5. So you need to multiply the first denominator and numerator by x minus 5. Let me change the color, it looks same. Since I don't have space here, let me do it on the left side. X minus 5 is missing. So multiply top and bottom by x minus 5. If you compare the second denominator with the LCD, is there anything missing? X plus 5. So we are going to multiply top and bottom by x plus 5. And then we have x squared minus 5x minus 2x. You cannot forget about your negative sign, minus 10. So we have x squared minus 7x minus 10. And then x plus 5, x minus 5, two of them. Can you think of two numbers multiplied to negative 10 combined to negative 7? 3 and 5. How about their signs? 5 has to be negative. Then 2 has to be what? So if you have positive, negative 5, positive 2, is the answer negative 7? If you put but when you multiply them, do you get negative 10? Is negative 5, negative 2 gives you negative 10 when you multiply them? So is this factorable? It looks factorable, but it's tricky. One of the condition doesn't satisfy. Any questions? So remember, Thursday we don't have any in-person class. I'm going to send you a link in your email. Make sure you keep an eye on your email. I'm going to send it through Brightspace, but I'm not going to post. Actually, I will post the link also on Brightspace. Don't leave. I have your exam. And you're going to watch that recording instead of Thursday's class. And if you have any question, anything you do not understand, you can ask me on Friday. But I can tell you what we're going to do in that in the next chapter, not chapter, sorry, section. In the next section, you're going to solve, and in order to solve, first you have to do the same thing here, what you did, addition and subtraction, and then we set the numerator to be 0 and solve for x. I don't have the reflection today. I'm going to give you reflection on Friday to fill out.